nhớ rồi trồng đẹp gì cái tên là chàng hôm nay giờ lúa cầu lên đô nô tì xà xong ốp hành của ó của giờ bỏ lì va sợi chế đờ mong truyền sinh news nên rồi lúa giò sừng phò sừng Minnesota sở sử hôm nay của cho phép một sai chi va kỹ sĩ thản Dr. Scott Jensen giờ tụi giờ lo sĩ từ vào tụi governor nhân rồi họ bên lúa sừng Minnesota nó còn nó là to của cho phép một sai kỹ sĩ thản.
Welcome to Mountain City News. My name is Chi. It's a privilege to have you here today. Please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about you and your background.
Thank you, Chi. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to have a conversation with you. I'm a kid from Sleepy Eye, Minnesota, a little town in the south part of the state. I've lived here all my life. Mm-hmm. There were 5 kids in my family. And I went to a public school in Sleepy Eye, and then I went to the University of Minnesota. And I became a doctor. My wife is a veterinarian, and we have 3 children. Our oldest is an anesthesiologist, and our youngest is a family doctor, and our middle child is our only son, and he is an attorney or lawyer. And we've had a wonderful life. When I trained to become a physician, I had a chance to spend 4 years in the St. Paul capital area, and I did my training at Bethesda Hospital. And in 1975 was when the United States left Vietnam, and so from 1977 or so to probably 1990, there was a lot of immigrants from Laos and Thailand, so I got a chance to meet the Hmong community, and it was a big part of my practice when I was a resident at Bethesda. So I had a chance to get to know many wonderful Hmong families. We had an interpreter named Shua, and it was fun to work with her. I delivered hundreds of babies, but I've always remembered 2 things about the Hmong community.
Okay.
One is the Hmong community has a wonderful way about being very respectful of one another. They just, respect seems like a core value. And I think the other thing is, I was always impressed with how the Hmong family respects the elders.
Yes.
And I thought that's really important. And I've worried that in America today, we're getting away from some of those values of respecting one another and respecting our elderlies. And the other thing I guess the other thing I should mention is I was in the Senate. I was a senator for 1 term from 2017 to 2021. And I had a chance to work with many Hmongs as we passed laws. Okay. And I was impressed also with how the Hmong community honors service to country. So many Hmong veterans from the Vietnam War, but also many Hmong get involved now, serving in the National Guard.
Yes.
I think, Chi, you even have one of your children serves in the military and defends America. So I was impressed with that as well.
Thank you. We really appreciate him too for taking his time and going into the service too, and we are blessed to have him being in there to serve a country.
You should be very proud.
We are.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Can you explain your purpose for becoming a candidate for the governor?
I'd be glad to. People have asked me, is this something you always thought about doing? Was I always going to run for governor? Absolutely not. I'm a family doctor. I enjoy being a doctor very much. But I think Minnesota is broken. I think there's very little trust between the people and the government. I think too often government becomes focused on itself, and it's supposed to be about service. And in the middle of COVID-19, it was very obvious to me that government was expanding, heavy-handed, locking down businesses, locking frail, elderly folks into nursing homes, not letting them be with their loved ones, locking kids out of school. The government sort of said, we're in charge and you're going to do what we tell you, and we're going to treat you all the same. One size fits all. And that didn't work because Minnesota is a big state.
It is.
And you've got some areas in greater Minnesota, rural Minnesota, that they didn't have any significant disease going on in terms of COVID, while Hennepin and Ramsey County had quite a bit. But everybody was being treated the same. You were seeing people having their businesses locked down. They could not take care of their family. They could not go to church. They couldn't go to a local store. All these things were locked down. So I think all of those things drove my wife and I to decide that we needed to run for governor. And so that's what we've done.
Well, that's good to hear that. Okay. All right, my next question is, how can the community support your campaign?
I think the most important thing, Chi, that can happen is we need to keep talking. I think I need everybody to talk to 3 or 4 people a day for the next month, because the election's in about a month. But I think we have to ask ourselves one question. Do we like what Minnesota has become over the last 3 years? I think from that one question we could ask, do we feel safe? Do we think our kids are getting the education we want them to get? Do we think that the government is doing what it should be doing in terms of supporting people? Or is government and our government policies responsible for some of the inflation that is driving up the cost of food in our grocery stores by 20%? Some of the inflation could not have been avoided, but some of the inflation has been driven by inflationary policies put in place by the governor. So that's what you can do to help, is we need to keep talking and say, do we think we can do better? Do we think we're one Minnesota? I think Minnesota is more divided, Chi, today than it's ever been in my life.
Yes.
We need to heal Minnesota. We need to build bridges with one another. We need to have conversations with one another. We don't have to agree on everything, but we need to try to agree on most of it. And when we agree on most of it, we should be able to fix things.
I agree with that, yes. Okay. Is there anything else you would like the community to know in regard to your campaign?
Our campaign is driven by values of respect and honesty and reaching out to one another. It strikes me that that's what the Hmong community is based on. Those same things. Respect, trust, and reaching out to one another. So I think that for us, I would want the Hmong community and all of Minnesota to know that I pledge that I will tell the truth, even if it's a little painful. I will respect all people. I will speak for all people. I will not flinch. I'm not looking to become a career politician. I'm a family doctor. I'm running for governor because I think Minnesota is broken, and I think I can help fix it. I can help heal Minnesota. And if, as your governor, I will spend the next 4 years solving problems, reaching out, and building, if you will, a better Minnesota. And in order to do that, I don't have to look very far for a model. I can just look at what has the Hmong community done over the last 40 years. They've built community, they've built neighborhoods, they've started businesses, they honor their faith, they take care of their families, they want to be free, they want lower taxes, they want safety, they want to know that their kids are going to be safe and that the kids are going to get a good education. If people want to learn more about me, the best way to do that is to go to my website, drscottjensen.com.
Okay.
DRSCOTTJENSEN.com.
Okay.
And we've tried to lay out all of our positions, and we are absolutely going to be tenacious in terms of fighting crime. We are going to get more police on the streets. We are going to enforce the law. We are going to imprison repeat violent criminals. We have to.
Yes, I agree with those. We do need more law enforcement on the street to help to ease everything down. I do agree with that. Yeah.
So I think what I would say in my closing comment, Chi, is I would say thank you to the Hmong community for putting critical values right in front and living by those values. Faith, trust, respect, building bridges, finding common ground, taking care of families. Those are the things that Minnesota should all want to do. So thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you. Thank you for taking your time here with us at the Moncton City News, and we really appreciate you coming here and talk to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
It's been
you.
good to be here.
Thanks. Thank you.
一种日子佢哋就可能好报道了呢，要继续他几万到做 Dr. Scott Jensen 係在呢個嘅有老師對活動咁樣的做俾到生命的所帶，一種上呢落咗這裡呢啦，到佢呢有啲呢對項目論路呢時候做路呢時候談到呢呢啲呢上到到對疫苗一種國家呢，天就看咗冇辦法，自然呢冇做到路狗一年都努第二，我做到俾所有人做到呢度晒嘅 video 呢。